Thank you for tuning in to Investment Insight presented by McCay Wealth Advisory. My name is Hayden, Proffitt. Joining us today, we have Brent McCay. Brent, I'm wanting to pick a financial advisor.
Yeah.
What questions do I need to ask them?
Great question. So I think the first thing, the most important thing is what is your strategy on investing? I think it's important to have a tailored plan to your unique situation and to put investments in that plan that fit your unique situation. It's very common. Just a couple of high points on there is we see a lot of people in these retirement 2030, 2040 funds. That's basically saying everybody is the same situation. And that is just not the case. And then also, when you're working with an advisor, what is their philosophy? We know indexes tend to beat managed money 90% of the time. So are you using indexes? Are you trying to be, what's your goal of investing? If your goal is to be better than everybody else, maybe that's what you want to do. But my goal is if I know I'm batting 90% and I got a 10% chance of beating me, I'm going to go with the 90 over the 10 all day long. So does your advisor use lower cost products or do they use higher cost products? And are they tailored to your unique situation? That's the number one thing. Is it tailored to you?
Perfect. And does it have your name on the plan?
Yep.
That you make? And so, okay, rebalancing my portfolio. Now that we've got my plan, okay, how are you going to rebalance my portfolio?
So one of the things that we'll do in a portfolio is we are going to make sure that your 401k, or we can't make you, but encourage, recommend that your 401k matches your plan.
Right.
Make sure that once you got your plan, that your actual investments match that plan. Because I know it's weird, but you can have a great plan, but if your investments don't match it, you're not going to get the results that you're expecting.
Right. And if your risk levels don't align.
And risk level is the most important thing because, we've got customers that are 25 years old that are scared to take risk and want to have lower cost risk CDs. That fits them. And I've got 70-year-old clients that want money to go to their grandkids and they want that money to be aggressive. So they don't want that money to be for their retirement. They want money to be aggressive. So make sure your money is tailored towards you.
Right. I totally agree. And so 2 questions. They kind of go hand in hand, but you mentioned something about 401ks and picking the funds within that. We're going to hit on that in a second. But for here, where are my assets held?
So one of obviously the most notorious financial advisor is, I think, Bernie Madoff. And because, he actually held people's money, he was able to steal that money because it was actually held in his firm by his company that he owned. And so one of the things that we think is important is hold your money with an independent source. One of the things we like about our firm is we like Charles Schwab because they hold the money, we help people manage the money, but we just work for the customer.
Right.
We're not employees of Charles Schwab.
Right.
And so if they're doing something we don't agree with, we will call them out on it. We don't have a system where it's an employment base where if you get fired by them in a minute, we can hold our money at multiple places at the same time. We don't have an exclusive agreement to hold our money in one place. I think that's important because you look at a lot of decisions are made in the financial realm, whether it be insurance or investments, whatever, it's based on exclusive agreements.
Right. And I think that what Schwab gives us is an independent third party that verifies those numbers that are on your statement when you get them.
Yep.
It's not just generated by us. So what about a Vanguard or something that holds my 401k? How do you pick the funds within that?
So obviously within a 401k, we will look at the options available and we will see what options best meet your plan. And then obviously, one of the nice things about a 401k is the costs tend to be lower than working with an advisor. And so if we can help you pick out some funds in there, there's a chance to get some higher returns with maybe some lower costs.
Yeah. So a phrase that we've heard probably since we were growing up, no such thing as a free lunch, right?
Correct.
And if you're interviewing a financial advisor, how do they get paid? A question is what kind of compensation, direct and indirect, do they get paid?
That's a really complicated question, and obviously you can really get into the weeds on the details of how you get paid. But I think the simple thing to ask is, what are my fees? Are they transparent? And can I see them? And I would encourage any body that works with an advisor to ask for it in an email form or a written form. Because one of the things we commonly see is when a customer comes to us, what they perceive their fees to be is not what they are.
Right.
And so I would ask for what I'm paying in writing so that you can see all the different costs. There's 12B1s, there's back-end payments, there's lunches, there's awards trips. You know, a lot of advisors have quotas. Obviously, it costs money to keep the doors going, so everybody's got expenses they got to pay. So I understand that. But when you have an incentive or a quota to sell something, you might be selling the wrong things just to meet a number.
Right.
And so I don't feel like investing is buying a car. There's a place for that. You know, I think, you know, that's how it is. But that's when we're looking at it is ask what it is and ask for it in writing. Know what your fees are in writing. And are they transparent? Have it in writing.
Right. So critical. And then, okay, so I've got the firm here that, you know, you're working with this firm now. What level of customer service can I be expected to get?
Great question. So one of the things that's important to us, you know, we don't want to work with every customer. You know, we're not trying to work with 5,000 people because there's no way for us to have a deep personal relationship with 5,000 people. So one of the things, and we're even seeing this with our firm is growing. We're adding staff and team members. We're adding expertise in different areas to attempt to still provide the highest level of customer service for our customers. And so one of the things, obviously, Hayden, when you came on board, helping our firm reach more people with more attention and more service. And so that's the whole thing is, do you want to limit the number of customers you work with? And I think it's a good question to ask. Well, how many customers do you work with? Because there's about 220 working days a year that someone's going to work. And so if you have 3 or 4 appointments a day, that's 3 or 4 hour appointments a day, and you see people twice a year, I mean, you can do the math. There's a limit to the number of people you can work with. And it's important to limit the number of customers you have.
Right, for sure. And I think that going off that, limiting the amount of customers, so let's say you do have it and something should happen and there's a business continuity plan in place.
So one of the things the SEC requires and we provide is you want to have a replacement. Like, you know, people ask me all the time, well, if you die, who's going to manage my money? Well, Hayden, you're here. And you got Susie with her license. And you got, you know, multiple other people on our team with licenses. And we want to have that plan in place. And, you know, even right now, we're grooming additional people and looking for additional people as our company grows to fill those needs.
Right.
You know, because at some point, if you're not able to find the right people to do the job, you got to say, no more customers.
Yeah.
We can't take any more customers right now until we have that in place. Because it's more important to do a great job than to just do an okay job.
Right.
It's more important to do a great job for our customers, and that's why we limit the number of customers we work with.
Right. And I think those are definite questions that you ask your potential financial advisor, all these, because they should probably have an answer for them.
Yeah, these are very common questions.
These are not like, we didn't Google, what are the 10 hardest questions my financial advisor can answer? These are pretty common questions that, you know, it's something to look at.
Absolutely. Sure. And that's just, and don't forget, you can watch this video over again. It's a short, good question before you meet with an advisor. Ask those questions.
Yeah.
And there's more, but these are good ones to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for your time today, and thank you for tuning in to Investment Insight.